Welcome in electrical machine lecture. In the previous lecture, we were discussing about voltage regulation. Some of the equation we have derived for voltage regulation, approximate voltage regulation. So today we will do some numerical on voltage regulation of a transformer. Now one topic what is the voltage would be zero, voltage regulation would be zero, or we can say that what would be the power factor at which the voltage regulation is zero. We can determine simply by taking our approximate voltage equation. So say condition for zero voltage regulation. It means that what would be the value of power factor or power factor angle at which voltage regulation becomes zero. We have a approximate voltage regulation value, approximate voltage regulation is equal to I2 R2 cos theta 2 plus I2 X2 sin theta 2 divided by V2. This is the voltage regulation, and just multiplying by 100, so it is a percentage voltage regulation. So we want zero voltage regulation, so put this 0 is equal to I2 R2 cos theta 2 plus I2 X2 sin theta 2. Here become 0, or we can say that I2 R2 cos theta 2 is equal to minus I2 X2 sin theta 2. So by arranging the equation as I2 R2 divided by I2 minus this value, I2 X2 is equal to sin theta 2 upon cos theta 2. So this value is nothing but tan theta 2 is equal to minus I2, or just I2 is 0, it is cancel out, R2 upon X2. Therefore, theta 2 is equal to tan inverse of minus tan inverse of R2 upon X. It means that the angle theta 2 is negative. It means that voltage regulation will zero when load power factor is leading. So at leading power factor, what would be the leading power factor? Its value may be 0.9 leading, it may be 0.8 leading, but the voltage regulation becomes zero at leading power factor. So this is the one more condition, additional condition we have. Now try to do some numerical based on this voltage regulation. Let the numerical is like that: a 10 kVA single phase transformer for 200 by 400 volt at no load the resistance R1 5.5, X1 12, R2 0.2, and X2 is 0.4. Okay, so better it is to write here. So transformer is a 10 kVA. 10 kVA. This is the data is given. 10 kVA transformer. Voltage rating is 2000 by 400 volt. Whereas the resistance R1 is equal to 5.5 ohm, reactance 12 ohm. Similarly, the resistance R2 0.2 ohm and reactance 0.45 ohm. Determine the approximate value of secondary voltage. Here it is necessary, it is need to calculate V2 at power factor 0.8 lagging, when the power factor is equal to 0.8 lag. Okay. When the primary voltage is where the V1 is equal to 2000 volt. Okay. From this data, some point is clear. First of all, we will draw the diagram for transformer. Resistance and reactance of primary winding. The primary winding is 2000 volt. So the number of turns in the primary winding is higher. Our diagram should indicate that there is a large number of turns. Primary voltage is 2000 volt. Resistance is 5.5 ohm. Reactance is 12 ohm. The secondary winding is 400 volt. So the number of turns on the secondary winding is smaller than the primary winding. So secondary resistance is 0.22 ohms and reactance is 0.45 ohms, whereas the secondary voltage E2 under no load condition it is 400. So here E2 is equal to 400 volt, whereas the secondary voltage, it is asked to determine what would be the value of secondary voltage. Okay. If you look at the data, it is quite clear that the winding which has large number of turns or higher voltage side, the resistance is more, reactance is more. Since it has large number of turns, similarly, the winding which has less number of turns, definitely the resistance and reactance value will be smaller. So from data itself, even though if it is not written, if it is not shown properly, the value of resistance is given. So from the value of resistance and reactance, it is quite clear that higher value of resistance and reactance are from the high voltage side, and the resistance and reactance whose values are small, definitely it is from the low voltage side. So this is the data is given from the in the numerical. Now we want to solve this numerical. Now here N1 upon N2 is equal to E1 upon E2, which is equal to, it is 2000 volt, so 2000 divided by 400. So here the turns ratio become 2000 by 400. Now here V2 is need to calculate. So first of all, what we will do, we will try to calculate what is the value of current is I2. Okay. The resistance and reactance refer to the secondary side. So resistance referred to the secondary side is R2, which is equal to R2 plus R1 dash equals to R2 plus R1 into bracket. Now refer to the secondary side. So it is N2 upon N1 bracket is. The value of resistance which refer to the secondary side get decreases because the number of turns in the secondary winding is smaller. Okay. So here it is a 0.22 plus it is 0.2 only. 0.2 resistance is 0.2. His resistance is 0.2. Okay. So here the resistance is 0.2 only. 0.2 plus resistance is 5.5 into 400 divided by 2000 bracket square. And therefore resistance R2 equivalent resistance referred to the secondary side is 0.42 ohm. See here, the value of resistance referred to the low voltage side will be smaller as compared to the resistance in the primary side. This is the total resistance. Similarly, total equivalent reactance referred to the LV side. It is X2 plus X1 N1 N2 upon N1 bracket square. Same equation equals to 12 plus 0.45 400 is 0.45 plus 12, it is 400 divided by 2000 bracket square. So the total value is 0.93 ohms. Okay. Now what is the kVA rating? kVA rating as it is given, it's 10 kVA. So it is equal to, it is a single phase transformer. So V2 or V1, we are going to find out the current. So it is, say, current is, what would be the current? Current in the primary side we can find. And from this one, we can refer to the secondary side. Okay. So the current V2 we do not know, isn't it? We want to calculate it is a V2. So it is possible to find V1 I1 is equal to 10 kVA. Okay. And from this one, it is quite clear to find the value of I1 is equal to 10 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 2000. Okay. Now what is the value of I2? I2 is equal to, it is equal to, say here, V1, or it is I2 upon I1 is equal to N1 upon N2, or I1 upon I2, okay, is equal to N2 upon N1. So I2, here I2 is equal to I1 multiplied by N1 upon N2. So I1 into 2000 divided by 400. So we get I2 is equal to, it is 25 ampere. Okay. Now here the power factor is given. I2 is equal to 25. Now power factor is given. Cos of theta is equal to 0.8 lag. Okay, power factor is given 0.8 lag. So therefore sin theta is equal to cos inverse of this one, and that angle is sine. So cos sin theta is equal to 0.6. Yes. Now put this value in the equation. The equation is E2 E2, if you just find the Kirchhoff voltage law, E2 is equal to V2 plus the resistive and reactive drop across this resistance, equivalent resistance and reactance refer to the secondary side. It is I2 R2 cos theta 2. Already this equation, approximate voltage equation we have found, plus I2, it is a lagging I2 X2 sin theta 2. Put these values, it is a 400 V2 plus 25 into R2, it is a 0.42 into 0.8 plus 25 into reactance is 0.93, 0.93 into 0.6. So by this way, the value of V2 is equal to 377.6. So in this way, the value of voltage V2 can be found. One more numerical. So I think there is a simple numerical, this one. Yes, a transformer has 2% resistance and 5% reactance. So here resistance is given in term of percentage, resistance, reactance. Resistance is 2%, okay, and reactance is 5%. Very simple. Find the voltage regulation at 0.8 power factor lag. So here the voltage regulation at 0.8 power factor lag. So here the percentage resistance and reactance is given. So in previous lecture, we found voltage regulation can be written as resistance per unit cos theta 2 or cos theta plus reactance per unit sin theta. This is for positive sign for the lagging power factor. Okay, so it is 2 in 2%. So it is a 0.02 into 0.8 plus 0.05 into say sin theta. Therefore cos theta is 0.8, so sin theta is equal to 0.6 cos inverse of 0.8, and then again this one value. So it is found at 0.046 p, that is equal to 4.6%. So voltage regulation is 0.046%. Okay. One more simple example. Calculate the regulation of transformer in which ohmic loss, that is the voltage drop loss, is 1% and reactance drop is 5% of voltage when the power factor is 0.8 unity and 0.8 leading. So similarly, the voltage drop, percentage voltage drop, resistive drop is 1%. Okay, reactive drop is equal to 5%. Power factor, we want to calculate the power at different power factor, 0.8 lag, 0.8 lead, and unity power factor. Okay, So first we will calculate at 0.8 lakh. So cos theta is equal to 0.8. Therefore, sin theta is equal to 0.6. Okay. So quite simple. It is regulation is equal to resistive drop and reactive drop. So it is 1 into 0.8 plus what is that value? It is a 5. So 5 into 0.6. Therefore, voltage regulation is 3.8%. Now part B, it is the 0.8 leading. So that the difference in voltage regulation formula or equation is RPU or R percentage resistive drop into cos theta minus percentage reactance drop into sin theta. So it is 1 into 0.8 minus 5 into 0.6 because the power factor is same 0.8. So the power factor is minus 2.2%. 2%. Whereas at unity power factor, regulation is equal to. Therefore, cos theta is equal to 1, whereas sin theta is equal to 0. Therefore, 1 into 1. So the voltage regulation is 1%. Voltage regulation is 1%. So in this way, the voltage regulation at any desired value, or we can say that the voltage regulation can be found with the help of equivalent circuit parameters. Either the circuit resistance and reactances are given, or it may be calculated in the percentage of resistance and reactances. Now, losses in transformer. What are the different losses are there in the transformer? So look, if you just look at the construction of transformer, so it having number of turns in the primary side, core, and some number of turns depend upon the step up transformer or step down transformer, number of turns in the secondary side. So if any copper windings or aluminum winding, generally in the transformer we use only the copper winding. Otherwise the size of the transformer get increases. So the transformer winding has some resistance. Primary resistance is there, secondary reactance resistance is there. So when the current flows through this winding, there is a losses in the transformer. So the first type of losses are the copper losses, copper loss in transformer. Copper loss in transformer is that it does not mean that the copper is going to lose after aging of the transformer. There is an active power loss. Active power loss take place in the copper winding. So simply it is called as a copper losses in the transformer. And it is denoted by PCU, copper losses, or WCU. We will use these two terms. It may be the W stand for the active power loss and CU stand for the copper losses. Second is the iron loss. Iron loss, again, it does not mean that the iron is going to lose, physical loss in the physical loss of the iron. There is a active power loss in the iron structure. So whatever this winding, whatever this say structure or say core type winding or shell type winding, shell type core is there. So the core is made up of thin strips, laminated strips are there. If suppose this is the cross-sectional, this one. So there are a number of strips are there, and the thickness is going to reduce the losses, that is called as a eddy current loss. So what do you mean by eddy current loss and what do you mean by hysteresis loss? So there are two types of losses. One is the eddy current loss. Eddy current loss, and second is the hysteresis loss. Hysteresis loss. First, what is the eddy current loss? Suppose this is the winding is carried out on the primary winding and secondary winding, okay, on the transformer. The primary winding produces magnetic flux. This magnetic flux is alternating because our supply is alternating. The flux also alternating and has same the shape. So this is the flux and this is omega t. So this is the flux also the alternating. This alternating magnetic flux linked with the iron material. It is a conducting material. So it induces EMF. But the induced EMF does not supply current to the winding, whereas this induced EMF circulate the current in the form of eddies. Suppose this is the iron material. Whatever the EMF produce because of the changing magnetic flux, it produces the current, and this current going to circulate on the surface or say in the iron material in the form of eddies. Therefore, this is called as a eddy current. Now, the eddy current, suppose this is the IE is the eddy current. So square of current multiplied by the resistance of material, okay, resistance of material gives the eddy current loss. So how to reduce that eddy current loss? If you divide this material into the different steps, under such condition, the cross-sectional area of material get decreases. And when the cross-sectional area of material decreases, so rho L upon A, if the area decreases, the value of the resistance would be higher. Okay. So by using the thin lamination or thin strips, number of strips, number of wafers, they are stuck together with the help of varnish. So every strip, there is some insulating material, okay, and this insulating material is nothing but the varnish, okay. So in the construction of the transformer, there are a number of number of strips are there, okay, that is called as a stamping. Number of stampings, they are joined with the help of nut and bolts, okay. So there is a nuts and bolts are there over this one, okay. So there is a nuts and bolts are there, and once the construction of core is there, it is dipped into the varnish. So varnish layer comes between between two thin plates of the magnetic material, okay, that is called as a stamping, and therefore it is insulated to each other, okay. So by using the laminated core, the iron eddy current loss decreases. So this is the one method. It is used as a 0.5 mm or 0.37 mm thickness of the laminations are there. So this is called as a eddy current loss. It will give the active loss in the core material. Second is the hysteresis loss. What is that hysteresis loss? It is a BH curve. We know that the BH curve, this is the flux density, okay, and this is the magnetic strength H, which is equal to N into I. For any electromagnet, this is the number of turns is there, okay, number of turns are there. Like the number of turns is constant, So current is the variable factor. Current is the variable factor by which we can increase the magnetic field strength H. So under such condition, the magnetic flux increases, and once the pole becomes saturated means, suppose this is the dipoles are there, they are aligned in one direction. All the poles are aligned and in the direction of MMF, in the direction of field strength. Now, if you increase more the current, there is no effect in increasing the magnetic flux. So the flux become constant. So there is a saturation. Now, if you decrease the current in the same manner or in the same step, it does not follow the same path, but it follows the different path. So in this condition, even the magnetic field strength becomes zero. There is some magnetic flux present in the magnetic material, which is called as a residual magnetism. This is the property of magnetic material. Okay, even on magnetic material, the difference is that as soon as we switch off the supply, the current in electrical circuit becomes zero. Whereas if you remove the MMF, some of the magnetic flux remain present in the magnetic material, and it is called as a residual magnetism or residual magnetism. So now if you want to decrease to the zero value, the direction of current has to be changed. The direction of current has to be changed in such a way that at that value of current, the magnetic flux density or the magnetic flux becomes zero. So that amount of current which needed to make the magnetic flux in the core zero or in the reversal, because the magnetic flux is continuously positive half cycle and negative half cycle, the flux should follow the same. So whatever the amount of current needed to do the reversal of current, reversal of direction of magnetic flux is known as a hysteresis. So these two losses are going to take place in the transformer. Mainly, one is the copper loss and second is the iron loss. Iron loss has two components. One is the eddy current loss and second is the hysteresis loss. So these two iron losses is represented as Pi. Iron losses. So his eddy current loss is say PE is the eddy current loss and hysteresis loss is PH. So our PI is equal to PE plus PH. And total loss is equal to PCU, copper loss plus iron loss. Okay. Now, once the flux is depend upon the voltage, as long as your voltage is constant, in the practical case for the transformer which is connected to the source, the voltage is constant, so flux is constant, isn't it? And in first and second lecture, we found that whatever the flux created by no load current, it will remain constant. Let the current in the secondary winding increases, it will produce the MMF N into I2, N2I2. It is opposite to the MMF produced by the primary winding. It is N1, I1, the magnitude is same. So the flux created by the current in the secondary winding, flux created by current in the primary winding, due to the load condition, they are equal and opposite. So they will cancel out, and the flux produced by the no load current, it is I0, which has two components, IE plus I mu or IM. So magnetizing current, the flux produced by the magnetizing current will remain present even at no load condition and full load condition. So we can say that the flux in transformer remain constant irrespective of load condition. Listen one more time. Flux in transformer remain constant irrespective of load condition. So once the flux is constant, the eddy current loss and hysteresis loss also the constant. So we can say that Pi is constant loss and it does not depend upon the load value. So this is the constant. Whereas the copper loss, which depend upon the current, as the current increases, I1 square R1, I2 square R2, it is depend upon the value of current. Therefore, these are the variable loss. So transformer has two type of losses. One is the variable loss. It is depend upon load, and second is the constant. So these two type of losses are there in the transformer. And what would be the equation of this losses? And effect of frequency and effect of voltage change we'll see in the next time. That is the effect of frequency and effect of voltage, change in voltage and change in frequency over the transformer iron losses and copper losses.